So can you tell me a little bit about why you're here at UCF tonight?
I'm here to speak to the students and faculty about diversity and inclusion and about leading an extraordinary life, and hopefully inspire the students with some of my own stories and anecdotes about my own adversity that has led me to be the person that I am.
What have been some of your most difficult challenges so far?
Well, besides being married for 25 years, yeah. By far my different, just being a little person that walks on crutches in our society that puts a high premium on, tall, dark, and handsome, it is a challenge. I mean, it's hard to be a, not only a human, but a human experience, but being half the height and just the fact of reaching things, and then the social challenges of discrimination that goes on, the lack of inclusion that can happen. So it's my whole life has sort of been a project, if you will.
How's your family reacted to the media and the spotlight constantly on you guys?
It's had its ups and downs. The media can be an amazing vehicle to tell your story, and we've accomplished what our mission has been. Our reason for being on our show has always been to educate people about being a little person, and about anybody, and really being a little person or a person with dwarfism is really a metaphor for anybody that's different. I mean, if you can get your head around that family that has a little short dad, that with tall kids, if you can get your head around them being sort of normal and having emotions and feelings and challenges and struggles and successes and triumphs, then you could probably get your head around almost anybody that looks a little different than you. Having this being a human and being similar to yourself. So our show has always been about that mission of educating and normalizing people, and we're still working at it, trying to get to a broader and broader audience. So it's been a quite experience, and I think the kids have come through it quite remarkably. I mean, to grow up is hard enough, but then to grow up with the television nosing around on everything you do and everything that happens, and trying to over dramatize things that are going on in your life, your first dance, your first date, or you're not making the soccer team, or making all that stuff has been highlighted in my kids' life. So I'm amazed that they're actually normal and really, really good kids, and we've all kind of come through it and being mostly normal. I guess by somebody's standards, we are.
I feel like it would have to make you a stronger person, having to deal with the camera on you constantly.
I think for sure, without a doubt, my kids have built up a sense of resiliency and thick skin. They don't let hardly anything bother them. I mean, you can walk right up to my kids and any of them and say anything you want to them, call them the dirtiest names in the book or accuse them of this, and they're like, it doesn't even faze them anymore. And because they've had all that stuff thrown at them, and people are terrible when they write things that aren't true, and they make up stories and exasperate things. And so my kids have always just been, what, big deal. So I mean, there's times when they thought that's not a very nice thing to say. It's like, yeah, well, there's mean people sometimes, but for the most part, everybody that talks to folks and people that come up and greet us and what have you, have been enjoyed the show and have been inspired by it, and or just taking it for what it is. It's entertainment, and it's also some life lessons.
What's next for you and your family?
Well, we're believe it or not, we're still plugging away doing shows, doing episodes, and I'm going to reveal some of my secrets tonight about what's going on with that, and enjoy these. The speaking to students and sharing, taking their Q&A, doing my talk, and then also doing the Q&A, and hopefully people will ask about what's next. But our family and I are plugging away at our pumpkin patch and expanding our farm. Amy and I recently celebrated our 25th anniversary, and that's a big episode.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so the family's going through a big transition with the kids all kind of taking off, going to school. And we're just living life to the fullest.
And do you have any advice for students here at UCF who are struggling with challenges?
Well, I think that students need to appreciate the fact that there's one word that's really, really critical in anybody's life, and it's resiliency. And resiliency is a muscle that can be exercised. So when you go through a challenge, instead of looking at it as a bad thing, look at it as an opportunity to be at the gym and to be exercising. So that, you know, you don't have to pay for your membership to the resiliency gym, but you can certainly, when you have adversity, things that happen in your life, circumstances, or you know, your parents get divorced, or whatever that might be, building up your joyfulness through the challenges in life is a muscle that can be exercised and can become strong. And then when the big bad things happen to you in life, because bad things do happen to good people all the time, you can learn to be joyful and realize there's a purpose behind it. You may not know what the purpose is. And I think resiliency is a really, really important concept that, you know, is the most underused word. And I think I hope the students come away with a renewed sense of how fun it is to be resilient and to exercise that muscle.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.